via our YouTube stream in International Test Center. So as you are aware, hopefully we stream the session as well to YouTube. So it will be possible for you, your colleagues especially, to join if we have reached the maximum capacity. Okay. So it's 10:01 a.m. in Jakarta, Indonesia. And we have Emily here from the United States, CGFNS. Perhaps it's 10 p.m. Her time. Thank you for having the time for us. And before we start, Bapak Ibu, I would share a bit what we're going to have this morning. Please allow me to share my screen. Just to make sure that you have the session, if you want to have a cup of coffee or tea or snacks, just to have the session, informally. So we're going to have this discussion, but Emily will give you the information more later. Half of you perhaps met us already in a direct meeting or Zoom meeting previously. Some of you are new. Welcome. Thank you for coming for this session. We believe this is a commitment from you related to how we are going to prepare the students for their international journey. I will share you my screen just to open a bit related to this session. So this is an introductory webinar about Global Passport. Bapak Ibu, ladies and gentlemen, Jumpstarting the International Nurse Journey. Please allow me to introduce myself. If this is the first time for you to meet us, I'm Lenni Elvira from International Test Center. This is my contact numbers. And here I'm representing International Test Center along with my colleagues here, Amelia and Lutfi. And International Test Center, Bapak Ibu, just to give you brief informations that we represent these principles. So these are principles that we represent in Indonesia. And by this morning, we're going to talk about CGFNS, nursing, how we prepare the students and the nurse in Indonesia. ITC has been in a close relation with CGFNS for about almost 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. So the first activities we had in the past with CGFNS was with the BNP2 TKI, currently the name is BP2MI, and then the Ministry of Health, we conducted for about 21 or 22 nurses, practitioners, or academic related to the nursing, and they tried this test for ISPN from CGFNS, and we talked with the recruiters, and then the visitations and activities with the nursing schools. Somehow, because of the pandemic, we stopped a bit, and now we are going to talk to you, to share with you again how to prepare our students from the very beginning, instead of preparing the nurse to have their international journey later on. And what we are going to cover this morning are these pointers. Emily will inform you about CGFNS, and then what is Global Passport, and then how it works for the nursing students, and the role of schools. This is from the universities or Polytechnic. We're going to see how this will work with you. And then we're going to have Q&A session, Bapak Ibu. But anyway, don't worry. If you have questions along the way, we have our chat box open, so you can type. Or if you would like to ask later on in a Q&A for the communicative way, that would be okay too. If you think that it is better for you to ask your questions to be delivered better in Bahasa Indonesia, please feel free to do so, as I'm here to help you to connect with Emily, and then we have our messages across during this webinar. And if you have thought sharing a bit related to what your schools has been doing to prepare, we can give you this opportunity as well to share with us, and then let Emily also hear related to this. Okay, that would be from me. Who will start the session information? Emily from CGFNS. She's the Senior Director of Knowledge Management, and this is the contact. If you would like to contact her, email would be great. But if you need more than email, say WhatsApp number and so on, we will discuss more related to that. Okay, they would be from me, and I will give the session to Emily. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lenni. Okay, so now I will share my screen. And hopefully you all can see that now. So yes, good morning and hello from Los Angeles. I'm very excited to be able to introduce the Global Passport Program to you all. So thank you for making yourselves available and attending the unveiling. As Lenni mentioned, my name is Emily Tsay, and I am the Senior Director of Knowledge Management at the Global Health Workforce Development Institute at CGFNS International. I have over 20 years of experience in credential evaluation in both higher education and professional licensure. But more recently, I have started focusing my efforts specifically on the professional licensure of nurses and other allied health professions. So as mentioned, I will provide a little bit of background about CGFNS for those of you who may not be familiar with our organization. We'll talk about why we're here, which is, of course, to support the international journey of the nurses, and specifically, of course, the Global Passport, how it works, and your important roles as their schools. So CGFNS was actually founded in 1977. It is the world's largest credential evaluation organization in the nursing and allied health sector. It was founded actually through the combined efforts of the American Nurses Association, the National League for Nursing, and the U.S. Department of Education. And this was because they identified obstacles for nurses during the migration process. So they felt that there should be an organization devoted to helping them. And that's how CGFNS came about. So over the years, we have assisted 2 million healthcare professionals from approximately 200 countries and territories. There are 4 main spaces that we work in. The first, of course, being in the evaluation, assessment, and certification of nurses and health professionals. And because we do work with their credentials, we also can assist with the storage and sharing of those credentials. And that is a big piece of the Global Passport, which I'll be speaking about. We also have a division helping to ensure that nurses and other professionals are safely and ethically recruited. So there's a code of conduct and a certification for recruiters that we provide. And then another thing that we're very excited about is expanding the digital experience so that we can enhance it for our applicants at all stages of their career. So why are we here? As nursing schools, no doubt, you are tasked with providing the academic and practical training so that your students can become successful nurses. But there's also the important piece of helping them embark on their journey and advance so that they can apply those skills that they learned and be successful nurses. So here is a roadmap for nurses interested in migrating, particularly to the United States, and how the Global Passport and also ISPN can assist with that. There are a number of pathways. The 2 most common are the green direct route and then the blue mediated route, which is on top of the green route, if you will. So as you can see, there are quite a number of steps. And the idea behind the Global Passport, as well as ISPN, is to help launch that and help them have a head start. So for example, if you start with visa screen number 3, that is the process by which applicants apply for an occupational visa, because then they will be allowed to live and work in the United States as a nurse, for example. Once they enter the United States, though, with this occupational visa, it doesn't stop there. they then need to apply for a license at the state level, because that is how it is structured in the US. Then they have to do steps 5 and 6, for example. The step 5 is the evaluation piece of the educational background, and then 6 is the nursing licensure examination. So those are the two main pieces normally when they apply to the state board. And then when they pass, they can become licensed, and then they can actually work as a nurse in the country. Unfortunately, sometimes the visa screening and the obtaining of a visa can take a while, particularly when there is a cap on the number of visas that are issued. So while nurses are waiting, oftentimes they might, in the interim, in the meanwhile, go to another country and work. So they can get additional work experience, more practice with English, that sort of thing, while they're waiting to enter the United States. So that is the direct versus the mediated route, the green versus the blue. And as we see, there are a number of steps, and Global Passport, as well as ISPN, can help with that. So ISPN stands for International Standards for Professional Nurses. And what it does is it helps validates the nursing education against international standards, and then that can be used toward the visa screen for those who wish to enter in the US. For applicants who wish to participate, they must come from a recognized accredited school and be qualified as a first-level general nurse. And here is the link for those who wish to apply. So the main components are the verification of the education and license, as well as the qualifying examination. So for the visa screen, one of the main components is a nursing examination, but many of you may know for the NCLEX that we saw on that roadmap, that's only offered in a limited number of countries, making it very difficult for nurses. So what is nice about ISPN is that it also offers an exam that can be used for visa screen, and it is offered in country in Indonesia, making the process easier. The qualifying exam in the ISPN is 3 hours long and is internet-based. The 4 main clinical nursing areas that it covers are adult nursing, nursing of the children, psych and mental health nursing, and then maternal and infant nursing. So although it covers these 4 areas, it doesn't mean that the nurse is divided into these 4 separate subjects. In fact, the questions are all integrated, so that's important to note. So that's ISPN. What about Global Passport? So for many individuals who are seeking to migrate, one of the biggest challenges is simply the document collection process, right? Gathering all the necessary materials, whether it's the transcript or the license, that sort of thing. And so Global Passport helps them with that process and makes them ready when it's time to migrate, and it's securely stored. So it's an exciting new service that we're thrilled to share with you. And again, it supports the career mobility. It helps them launch and jumpstart that process. What it does is it verifies the credentials and then stores them in a digital vault and makes them ready when the nurses are ready to migrate. So in that way, it helps address the challenge of the document collection process. So how does this work? So we're going to talk about the pilot phase, which will begin later next month, how it works for the students and what the platform looks like, what to expect from that. And then again, your important role as the schools. So for the pilot phase, we will be targeting the 3rd and 4th year students who are graduating in 2024 and 2025. Later on, it will become available to all nurses and then eventually other healthcare professions. But the reason why we're targeting 3rd and 4th year students is to get them started to think about the process and to prepare, because again, the document collection process is difficult. If you think about high school students, when they apply for university admission or polytechnic admission, they don't do it after they graduate, right? They're doing it as they are approaching the conclusion of the program. So the concept is the same here for nursing students, that we want them to start thinking about and preparing in their 3rd and 4th year. So we're trying to catch them before they graduate. So we will be working for the pilot phase with 10 target schools in the Philippines and 10 target schools in Indonesia, as well as the nursing regulators in these countries. And again, this will take place late next month, so we're very excited. So in terms of how it would work for the student, they would register for the Global Passport program and provide the credentials that they were working towards, and then generate related tasks to be done in relation to that. So for example, when they graduate, then they will be asked to authorize the school to provide information and to upload their transcript. And then accordingly, when they become licensed, they authorize the board to provide information and upload the license. So in this way, the credentials are verified and stored and ready for use. So again, it helps them jumpstart that process. So in terms of the platform itself, these are the different components. We have, of course, the dashboard, which provides an overview. The My Account is where the applicant would fill out their profile, such as their contact information, uploading their photo, that sort of thing. Under My Credentials, again, that's where they report what they are working towards, what degree it is, and what profession it is. My Services is a section where they opt into the Global Passport and find out the requirements. My Tasks is, again, the pieces where what they need to do. So for example, it might say you have to upload a copy of your ID, or you need to, upon graduation, have your school upload your transcript, that sort of thing. And of course, if for any reason there are any problems, technical support can also be found here on the platform. So we have the functionality, but we are still finalizing the look and feel because we want to make it nice and pretty for you and your students. So this is what the interface might look like, but again, we're still finalizing it. So I imagine it will be different when it finally comes together in January. But as you can see or imagine, it is something that can be accessed across all devices. So whether it is the mobile or the tablet or the computer desktop, it can be done through all devices. So now, the important role of the schools. So what happens is, as we mentioned, there are 10 schools that we're looking at for the pilot for Indonesia and Philippines. So when interest is indicated to us, we will select the schools, of course, check the accreditation, and then email a formal invitation. Then the school will register on the portal. And then after successful registration, then Global Passport will become available to your students. So first, the school must register on the portal, and then it will become available to the students. If the school is not on the portal, then the students, even if they're interested, they cannot participate in the Global Passport. So this is very important. What do schools need to do? There are some requirements. So again, the school must be recognized and accredited. We must have an official website domain, for example, .edu, .ac, .gov. And then, of course, the representatives or the users must have an official institutional email. Unfortunately, we cannot take Gmail or Hotmail. And why that is because the reports that we send to the regulating authorities, whether it's the US or Canada or whatnot, they're very concerned about fraud prevention. So it's very important to manage the chain of custody so that it comes from official sources through official means. So that's why we have these requirements in place. So the credential transfer portal is where, as we mentioned, the schools register. And what's exciting is that this is a new electronic platform where schools and licensing bodies can verify the credentials, upload them, and provide program information. So it's very much automated rather than doing it by hand and through paper. This portal is the engine or the vault behind which we actually collect, verify, and store the credentials. That's why this portal is very important. And the school and the licensing authority, when they have an account, there will be an account holder or the portal administrator, and then that person will then designate additional authorized users. So it may be, for example, other individuals within the administrative office or within the registrar's office. However your institution may be structured, you can decide regarding the authorized users. So when the invitation is given, there will be a link on which you can go and register, and then you would fill out your information. The account will be created with login credentials. And then so when you go in, you'll be able to see all your students who have applied. And so if you look on the right here, you can type in and search for a particular student, or you can go to the all section on the left and then click on the caret for a drop-down menu for which you can actually filter the different types of students and categories. So if you, again, click on the drop-down menu under all, that's the default. You can also see, as an example, completed records. Normally, you would not be as interested in that because it's already done. Nothing additional is needed. Normally, you would be most interested in the outstanding records because those are the incomplete records. You can also filter to recently viewed, as well as unconfirmed records. So what are unconfirmed records? That's when an applicant says that they attended your school or was licensed by your board, but then you cannot find that individual in your system. So if you indicate that, they will fall under the unconfirmed category. We also have a waiting for payment category. So maybe the student is in your system, but because they haven't paid any of the transaction or processing fees yet, you cannot complete their verification. So if you indicate that, then they will be under the waiting for payments category. But most likely what you'll be interested in is the outstanding records. And if you'd like, you can pin that. And then so the next time you go in, it will automatically default to the outstanding records section. So when you go to an individual applicant record, it would look like something like this. And what's nice is at the very top, there will be a progress bar. So it'll tell you how far along you are in the different sections that we need information on. So there's the details, there's the grid, which is where you would provide curricular information, such as the hours of instruction for the different subject areas. And then we have the files upload, which is where you would upload the actual transcript or license if you're a licensing body. So here are the different sections, and then it will clearly tell you what's been completed, what still needs to be done, and then you can edit that section as needed. If you click on the grid, then it will take you to the area where you would provide, again, the hours of instruction, theoretical, clinical, laboratory for each of the different subject areas. What's very nice is that this information that you provide us is templatable, so that the next time you go in, you can use the same information and then edit it. So you don't have to type it from scratch from the beginning each time, making your lives easier. We're very excited and pleased to be able to offer this feature, which is why participation on the electronic portal is so important, because we do want to make your lives easier so that you don't have to use so much effort or manpower. And then we do have the files upload section, which again is where you would upload the actual transcript. So what are the benefits to you as the institutions? So, again, this is an indication that you have recognition as a nursing education provider or regulator, because that's a requirement in order to even be able to participate. And then this is a way for you to give your students an advantage to starting their international careers, because again, for schools that are not on the portal, the Global Passport will not be available to their students. So this is something that you can provide as a benefit and an advantage to your students. And again, with the electronic portal, things are more streamlined and it can be easier for you to do versus by doing it by paper. So when you are successfully enrolled and registered, then you have recognition and a seal which you can use. You will have the official title of Designated Collaborating Center for Excellence. So that is something that you can share and be proud of. Now, benefits to the students. So it's just the same thing, the same concept. If for students who participate in the Global Passport, that is a mark of recognition of their school and program. Again, it will store their already verified credentials and make them ready for use, which is, again, such a benefit because it makes the document collection process easier. And the registration in this is free. So only fees are applied when they want to move on to a different service, maybe an evaluation service or whatnot for moving on to the United States and to Canada, for example. But registration for the Global Passport itself is free. So that's Global Passport in summary. And we're very excited to have you as potential partners for this. And if there are any questions I can assist with, please let me know.
All right, thank you, Emily. That was brief, and I hope that you have the details by how it looks from the administrator portal, or how the students will look and so on. So I think that we can continue to the Q&A if you have questions, Bapak Ibu, related to this program. So I would like to summarize a bit that this is the program is definitely a gift from CGFNS, because mostly if we're talking about the journey of the nurse related to their career, many times the time spent for the administrators when it comes administrative things, when it comes to the documents and so on, we will prepare it like later, but actually we need to prepare before they graduates, right? So that's why this portal, this quote would be beneficial, and we would like to invite the schools, the nursing schools, to take part, to be you give this more to the students, and then they will think of how to start the journey locally or abroad and so on. Okay, so if you have questions, Bapak Ibu, you can raise your hand by the, or you can use the microphone, or you can do, type it on the chat box. I would like to invite like first three questions if you have. Questions in Bahasa Indonesia are welcome as well. That would be okay. Not only questions, if you would like to confirm what you have just heard from Emily, just to make sure if you have, okay. We have Miss Laksita Barbara from UPN Veteran Jakarta. Hi, Miss. Yes, you can ask your question. Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Lenni. Good morning, Mrs. Emily Say. Is my voice clear?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I would like to confirm about the requirement of an institution to join your pilot project in January. Our university is actually accredited nationally, but it is going toward international accreditation. Is it still what is it? Can we join your pilot project with that accreditation status? And also the second question is about the certification of our graduates. So right now our graduate certificate and also transcript is in Bahasa Indonesia. So we are going toward translating the graduate certificate and also certification. So we are going toward that direction. But right now, our alumni actually has the Bahasa Indonesia version of certificate. If our alumni would like to join this global passport, can we also upload the translated version of the certificate, or what is it? So maybe it's not the graduate certificate itself in English.
Laxita, thank you so much for your questions. So yes, we're just looking for national accreditation. So if you are recognized in Indonesia, that would be sufficient. And then for the document requirements, we would like both. So we would like it in Bahasa Indonesia, and then for you to provide the English translations. So thank you for asking. That's a very important point. We would be grateful to have both versions in the local language and in English, please.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I would like to reconfirm from Miss Laksita the question. Is it possible for her school, her campus, to join this program if currently they only have their, the diploma, the certificate from the campus in Bahasa? They only have it in Bahasa for now. They are planning in the near future to have it, in bilingual. Many schools have them in bilingual in Bahasa Indonesia and English, but currently what they have in Bahasa Indonesia only. So is it possible for them to join this
I see.
pilot if they,
Thank you.
for now, currently
Yeah,
only have it in Bahasa?
I apologize. I missed that portion of the question because the sound was coming in and out. So if the documentation is only available in Bahasa Indonesia, we will request that translations be provided either by the school or through a third party. So that will be needed, and it will be marked as missing. So it's not something we necessarily ask up front when you request to join and have an account. We just check for the accreditation. But if in the nurse's global passport, there's only the Bahasa Indonesia, then it will say that it's missing the English. So that will need to be provided either by the school or through a third party. Of course, we prefer the school. So hopefully that makes sense.
Thank you, Emily. So I would like to confirm myself. Is it safe to say that it is possible for them to join, even though they have it only in Bahasa Indonesia, but somehow if they need that to be, forwarded to certain recipients and they need the English, they need to have the documents translated in English, right?
Yes.
And yeah.
So for the school to join, we don't make that a requirement. But when the nurse is doing the global passport, at that point, we will say you need to also get the English translation from the school or a third party. Of course, we prefer the school. So those are two separate pieces at separate occasions of the process.
Okay. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Ms. Laksita. I hope you have your questions answered. Okay. Any more questions? The second questions or the okay. We have Bapak Muhtarul Anam from Stikes Budi Luhur Cimahi, I believe. Please, Pak. You are still muted. Unmute dulu, Pak. Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much, Emily, for the presentation. It's very interesting. But I have one question regarding, you mentioned before that all the data will be stored in the dashboard. How long this will be stored? Is there any specific lifetime like this? Because what I know, CGFNS, if we make any classifications, there will be a specific limited time, like for 1 year, 2 years, or this will be lifetimes.
So this will be, thank you. That's an excellent question. The idea behind Global Passport is that the credentials are stored and can be used for many purposes that continue onward. So the idea is that it will be indefinite. When there's a time limit, that is usually related to a specific service, visa screen or credential evaluation, but Global Passport is separate. And again, we want to encourage the nurses to start preparing in advance, right? So there isn't a time limitation to that, but there may be, once they're ready to apply, for example, to a particular state in the US or to Canada, they might have specific additional requirements or time requirements, but Global Passport itself will not have time restrictions.
Thank you, Emily. I hope that answered your question, Pak Muhtarul Anam. Oke, jadi nggak ada waktunya ya Pak, memang untuk disimpan. Kalau kebutuhannya, kemudian buat hal yang lainnya ada tambahan dan lain-lain, baru kita perlu tambahan dan segala macam, tapi akan tetap di sana. Oke, thank you. And another one from Pak Yadi. Pak Yadi, oke. Masih dari Stikes Budi Luhur, silakan Pak.
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. Lenni. Good morning, Mrs. How do I pronounce that? I'm sorry,
thank you for asking. Sure. My last name is pronounced Say, so the T is silent.
Say, okay. Mrs.
Yeah.
Say, I just want to confirm that if I'm not mistaken, there is kind of the email requirement. Is it should be a recognized one? Okay, is it correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Gmail
email
and
address.
Something. Yeah.
So it has
How
to be an official school email. Yeah. Unfortunately, no Gmail or Hotmail.
Is it a must?
Yes, because it needs to come from an official source through official means. And this is a very important to the regulatory bodies that receive our reports, that receive the verified credentials through CGFNS. Because again, the chain of custody and making sure that it is through official means directly from the official source. So the only way that can be guaranteed is by asking for official email address, official website domain, that sort of thing.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for asking. That's important.
Thank you, Emily and Pak Yadi. So domainnya harus kampus ya Pak, .acid misalnya begitu, if we're talking about schools in Indonesia. Okay, I hope that answered. One more questions, we have it in chat box from Rika Rohim Septianingsih from Poltekkes Kemenkes Yogyakarta. My question, to what extent is CGFNS committed to maintaining transparency and accountability in their credential evaluation practices, including how they respond to feedback or complaints from individuals who participates in the evaluation process? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So, for example, any questions along the way, we encourage students and their representatives to ask. If there are any questions about the outcome of the evaluation, there is also an appeals process. And as I mentioned, especially with recruiting, we support and advocate for safe and ethical recruitment practices. And that means having transparency all throughout the process. So anytime there are questions, and also you have my direct contact information. So if there are any concerns or questions, always happy to address that.
Okay. Thank you for the response, Emily. I think that if you still have 1, 2, or 3 more questions from Bapak Ibu related to the program. Okay, it's Miss Laksita again from UPN Veteran Jakarta. Please, Miss. Okay.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot to ask one more question. So this question is actually a question from the previous discussion with Miss Lenni. So how safe is the document in your system? So is it because we have to upload the graduate certificate and also there may be identity and whatnot, but we just want to make sure that those documents are safe and stay in privacy. between the CGFNS and also the institution and also the account holder. That's it. That's all that I want to make sure. Thank you.
Of course, another important question. So thank you for asking. Yes, we're very concerned and careful about privacy and safety. For that reason, we created this electronic portal, and we do not accept documents, for example, via email. Many places ask, if they can email it to us, and that's not considered safe. So, for example, if you talk about medical records, financial records, that would not be emailed. So we feel the same way about academic records. And that's why we created this portal with the uploading process so that it's secure. When you look at industry standards, this portal mechanism is regarded as this one of the safest compared to, again, for example, emailing and attachments. And we have our own IT team that monitors this and makes sure that everything is safe and secure. There are data privacy and security laws, such as GDPR. And so we take those seriously and make sure that we are compliant with those.
Okay.
And sorry, and that's why the login credentialing process is so important. The login for the schools going into the portal, the login for the students going into the Go Passport, so that not anyone can just go in and out. And we have to make sure that we have information from you regarding your authorized users. And then the password has to be changed every 6 months, actually, on the portal. So we have those sorts of additional security measures.
Thank you, Emily. So there will be like requirements later on to confirm, and then that's why we have the first layer is the schools should use the account from their domain instead of free email, and we believe that documents should not be transmitted via email. So that's why it's better to have this vault to be used. And not to mention, I think that I need to highlight once again, Bapak Ibu, that CGFNS, their role is like, credential evaluation. So they make sure that the documents submitted to CGFNS is safely secured and to be used for many related to the immigration stuff and so on. So this is their strength, if I could say, the main service that they have. So this is a very good way for us, for the schools and the students, to start the journey by having this prepared from the very beginning. Okay, more questions? Okay, I don't think we have more questions. Okay, if I could summary a bit, Bapak Ibu, thank you. So previously, if you have talked with us, ITC, related to this program, I hope that by this webinar, you have more insight of the prototype, say, what kind of portal the schools would have and what to do, and then what kind of interface the students will have. And the requirement is we would like to invite the schools to start to provide their students to prepare them by joining the pilot to be the first step, because the schools need to be accredited. I mean, like, you have the agreement to join this program, and then the students can join. Yeah, I think, Emily, I would like to ask you one question, deliver this question by one of the campuses. If they join the program, this pilot, because this is something good to be done by them, but somehow if the students don't want to have their account or their documents submitted, let's say, would that be okay also for the nursing schools to join? So
of course.
Yeah,
it's not a requirement for every single student to participate. We provide this as an option and as a free service to help your nursing students who are interested, but it's not mandatory for everyone. It's just mandatory for the school to participate in order to make it available to the students, but not required for each student. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Emily. And Bapak Ibu, this pilot would be started in Philippines and Indonesia. As you know, Philippines is happy with this program because many of their graduates, the nurses, going to the United States. As I heard from CGFNS, the data that they have shared with us, like 60% of the nurses from all over the world coming from Philippines to the United States. So because we have this closeness with CGFNS and CGFNS see us as, you know, the country that have this, say, surplus of these nurses, it will be better for us, you know, to connect with them and then to prepare our students for this international journey. Okay, if there are no more questions from the audiences, I would like to inform Bapak Ibu that we have the upcoming events. So this morning, evening to Emily, we have this introductory webinar related to Global Passport Service. You may have more questions related to this or the ISBN for the nurses, or more related to the, you know, visa screen, immigrating to the United States and so on. Please contact us if you have more questions. I would like to also inform you that we're going to have this Global Passport and ISBN launching next month, next January, late January. That would be the date. We are going to contact you to invite you related to this. And for your information, later on, when your graduates would like to go to the United States and then the visa screening part, and they need the ISBN, we have the ISBN available for the testing. ITC is the testing center, so you can ask us related to the schedules, and the schedules would be like twice in a year. That would be in March and November. And Bapak Ibu, once again, what I would like to invite you is that this is an invitation actually for committed nursing schools in Indonesia to join the pilot program of Global Passport Service. And then let's prepare our graduates, as this would be their first step for mobility, because administrative documents and so on would take long usually, and this will be, you know, in bahasa Indonesia jadi jalan tol ya, mempermudah supaya hal ini lebih cepat dan proses kedepannya lebih banyak. There would be the closing from my end, Bapak Ibu, and then I would like to again ask for your feedback. We would like to know you more, where you're from and what you do in your nursing schools. You can scan this, or you can go to this feedback form. We would like to ask you your thought related to this. And then if you have further questions, you can also put that on this form. That would be the end for the session. We can wait for you to fill the form. And if you have more questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. Okay. That would be all, Bapak Ibu. I will let you sit there like a minute or two to fill the form. And if you have more questions, you are more than welcome to ask. Okay, I think that my team could help to copy the link. Okay, thank you, Amel. And that would be all. Emily, do you have more to convey to the participants?
No, just a great big thank you again. Thank you to Lenni and her team for helping to organize this. I know it's a busy period right now with the holiday season. So, but we do hope to have you as partners. We're very excited about this again. And just wishing you all a happy, safe, and merry holiday season.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you, everyone. Bapak Ibu, thank you so much. Please fill the feedback form and let us have contact with you related to this. Thank you. Good evening, Emily. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu.